Hey y'all, it's Melissa. I thought I would come back today and see if I can do a quick page. That will be challenging. I don't do much of anything very quick, but we're gonna try because I only have a little bit of time before somebody notices that I'm doing something, crafty. So you gotta kind of sneak it in when you can get it in. So this might seem like a random, pick a page in the, recent history, but you already know how far behind I am. So I'm just kind of picking days here and there and then trying to keep current. If I get the days done, earlier in the month, fine. If I don't, I'll hit the high points. Anyway, this is June 6th. Well, today is not June 6th. Today is June 14th. But I'm going to do this page, and it seems like a kind of random scrapbooky kind of page, but ooh, that word makes me shiver. But I thought that I've done most of the heavy lifting as far as, getting it, what I'm going to do. I think I'm a little more prepared than I was in my first video. But I actually thought that while I was doing this, this would be a good segue into maybe me sharing a little bit with you about how and why I got started into this. This meaning daily journaling, creative daily journaling, whatever you want to call it, Fibonacci, anything like that. Yeah, because it's kind of a windy, twisty road, but and I'm going to see if I can tell you the story while I work. I'm going to tell you a little bit about why I'm doing this day. This is not what I did on this day, but one of these pages is going to be a remembrance page. I'm not going to do it every year. I don't do it every year. Maybe, some little blurb or whatever, but this is my dad. I know that you probably can't see that picture. Let me see if I can bring it in. It was a very hazy picture anyway, because he's about to jump out of an airplane in 1944, and I'm sure it was a little hazy. Also, I copied the picture. So this is my dad, who volunteered, served like many of the men did in that age. Now, he was not. He was a little bit older. He had actually already graduated college. And I don't believe he would have been drafted. But anyway, that's beside the point. Nevertheless, let's see, how old would he have been? Anyway, he volunteered, to serve after, in World War, what would be World War II. Anyway, so he was in the 101st. I'm going to be cutting as I'm telling you this. Oh, look, I found my 9-inch scissors. And, well, and of course, probably seem to have lost my... Oh, nope, here they are. Anyway, I'm going to cut this while I am telling you the story. Anyway, he was in the 101st Airborne. They called themselves the Screaming Eagles. If you know anything about World War II or have ever watched the movie Band of Brothers, that is what that movie was about. Was the group of paratroopers and the rest that he paratrooped. He jumped on D-Day, basically, into Normandy. This is actually a little map I printed out. I know you can't see it, but anyway, the reason why I am doing this is because, let's see. One of the reasons I started doing this was a long time ago. Probably in the, I don't know, maybe early 90s or something like that. When scrapbooking, actually might have been the late 90s. I don't know. Anyway, I went to one scrapbook party with my best friend, and whose son was a baby, and my daughter was probably 9, 8, 9, something like that. 9 or 10, I don't know. Anyway, and we thought, oh, we'll scrapbook together. No. I never scrapbooked. To this day, it took me 20 years. Well, it's been more than 20 years ago, but I worked on this one page on and off. I still have that bag with all of my supplies in it, tucked in my closet, and it has been there ever since because I thought I was going to break out in hives. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. OCD, you can call it whatever you want, but I could not manage to make a page. So, you know, because at that point, I was trying to scrapbook my child, you know, and well, at that point was, what, 8 years behind, something like that, so no pressure there. But anyway, I think ultimately, down the road, as I've learned about some other things, it just really wasn't my style. Too clean, maybe, if that, you know, sits right with any of you. About a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I found or stepped into the junk journal world. And that is where I was going with this. Prior to that, I was, I'm like an avid junker. Not anymore. Love to go to estate sales, love to go to auctions. I used to have a little antique shop. Don't have it anymore. I had a booth in another antique store. For a while, I actually just gave that up. For a variety of different reasons, none of which are important here. But I still wanted that. I love to recycle stuff, use stuff that is unusable, whether it was furniture that someone discarded. I redid furniture, I restored furniture. You know, take something that was discarded and make it something new again, or something that someone would love and appreciate. So, junk journaling just lit my world up. It gave me a, you know, smile on my face that just set well with my soul. And so I went on this like 6-month, year-long venture of how to learn to make junk journals and such. And so I did. Don't know if I can remember exactly how I crossed from junk journaling into this, but I actually don't remember. I did like that it wasn't just, I wanted to document the everyday. I had never done that before. I've always journaled. I've always had a written journal that I would have never dreamed of letting anyone see. I love to write. I've written poetry and stories and things like that, short stories, whatever, since, good grief, probably middle school or high school. So, you know, journaling, I think somewhere in that range, or in that time frame, I also started experimenting with art and art journaling. So you kind of rub the two of them together and poof, you have this, right? So I, again, was excited because I have all of these craft supplies that seem to go in 8 different directions, but somehow or another they all meet up here. I once upon a time thought that I would, you know, be a card maker, or not professionally, of course, but just, you know, for family or friends or whatever, just for my own use. And I haven't given up on that completely. I have tons of stamps. I have tons of ink. I have markers and paints and oh my. Anyway, but this is one place that I can use. Oh, I can use all of it, even my scrapbook paper. Okay, this is a map. Yes, I printed that one because that actually has to do with D-Day, and I have it upside down. But you know, I can incorporate new and old and all of my craft supplies into this. So this really just lit my world on fire. Now, I have not developed yet a everyday habit of doing this. It doesn't come easy to me yet. It's not habitual. It's not second nature. I have to think about getting the menu from dinner last night or whatever. Actually, my husband probably does that better than I do. And anyway, so it just fits and it fills so many corners of my soul that, you know, and it fills all of my crafting itch. So, and I'm only committed to a month at a time. If I want to, you know, this month use a brand new, you know, whatever kind of journal, but yet next month I want to make one out of junk mail, I can do that too. I always, you know, tend to bounce back and forth between, do I want like pattern paper as my base or do I want plain paper? Probably the grid is my favorite. The, you know, the square that comes in the composition notebooks. Anyway, I am not gluing while we talk. So I have not, that's kind of how, that was a really quick version of how I got here. You know, I, just making sure I'm still, you know, talking to you and in my camera's eye. You know, because it does seem like I just sort of, you know, oh, here's a new hobby and, you know, let me jump right in. But really, it wasn't. It wasn't a new hobby to me. It was all of my old hobbies combined into one. So that's kind of how I look at it. You know, I think it is important, no matter what you're doing, to know your why you're doing something. And for me, if I can't see a purpose in it, I really struggle with it. I have really, in my junking world and in my crafty world, I skipped one big step. I also, for a few years, had an Etsy shop. And I did vinyl and paper, craft tags. I did vinyl, vinyl lettering, vinyl decals, coffee cups, wine glasses. I made t-shirts. Had a fundraiser that I made so many t-shirts for my sister, who had a double lung transplant. And I lost track of how many t-shirts I made in just a short period of time, and I think that kind of actually burned me out on making t-shirts. But anyway, I found that I felt like I had to have a reason for my hobby. I never had a hobby that, or something that I enjoyed doing that was just for me. One where I didn't do it for money or for someone else or, you know, whatever those, you know, other reasons are. But so this was kind of my gift to myself last year. And I wanted to learn a new hobby, the art, the drawing, things like that. Honestly, I joked about the reason why I wanted to do that was because I felt like that was one thing I was sure that I would not ever be good enough at to turn it into a job. And anyway, so it was just for me. And I do struggle with it. I struggle with, as I would imagine a lot of you do, or I can't possibly be the only one. And it's hard just to allow yourself time, or it is for me anyway, to allow myself time just to do something just for the creative joy. And, you know, I've just really done, you know, a lot of really deep soul searching over the last year or so, or two, and this is where I am, and I'm happy here. Because in these types of journals, you can do anything. Like I said, you can use the new stuff, the old stuff, the junk mail, the menu from dinner, and the placemat, or your tags off your clothes, or whatever you want to do. Some days it's just, you know, check the box and get it done and put something on the paper, and other days, you know, other days you might feel a little more creative and, you know, give it an extra, you know, extra ounce of creative juice. I lost my D-Day letters. Oh, right here. Here we go. Let me see before I actually glue these two down. Let me make sure where I'm going to. I'm not going to get really precise with this, but I at least want to make sure it will fit. These are the scissors. I can't cut, well, I can't even cut a straight line with this. Who am I kidding? But they're nice because they have a long enough blade that you can make it, if it's not a really long cut, you can make it in a single cut, and that does help you cut a semi-straight line. So, let's see. That is what's nice about those, I mean, among other things. Let's see. See, I don't have to worry about finding a day or a number or if it matches or if it whatever. Occasionally, I just print these out. I type them up on my computer or on whatever, and I just use them. Some days it's just easier. And some days easy is okay. So, let's see. I might not use this map. But I had extra room on my paper when I was printing out, so I thought I would at least, you know, maybe try it. One thing I learned about my craft stash, and my, you know, newfound washi habit, I have very little patriotic, okay? I have no patriotic washi. What is wrong with me? This was the extent of what I could pull out that even remotely came close to patriotic. I think I need to fix that problem, don't you? Because, yeah, that's a problem. But I do have these washies, and not that I would consider, well, this definitely was an adventure, but I like the map, you know, the global map that it has on it, and then these little globes. I thought it might be, you know, if I needed some. But anyway, I had these little strips. I forgot where I got them, but I found them in my stash. So that will do. I am going to break out my unicorn glue, as Allison calls it, which I think is absolutely adorable, and it definitely makes it more fun. Makes it more fun to use it when you can think about unicorns. Let's see. But I do like it. It dries really fast. And so easy to put on, and you only use just such a small amount with this tip. I do not, however, have a dangle. So I am feeling very left out. I will have to fix that problem. Let's see. I'm still using my glue stick though on these. So anyway, this is as, you know, complicated as this day is going to get. Gonna look like that. Oh, what I started saying about the junk journals. One of the reasons why that appealed to me so much is because I no longer have either of my parents, so therefore I have all of their stuff. Well, what stuff we kept. You know, old pictures, and then because my dad was so much older, and, you know, he has so much of, you know, he was an only child, and his parents' stuff, and I have all of my, from his mother, my grandmother, I have an entire box of letters, and they were in order until I got my hands on them. An entire box of every day that my dad was over in the war. And, you know, there was a good, 6 months or so prior to that where they were training. Anyway, but he wrote to her every day, and she wrote to him every day. And so I have this box of letters that, like I said, were in chronological order, so I could actually read, you know, his letter and then her response, or vice versa, or his dad, you know, whichever. I never got to meet either of them, so it's kind of been a way that, you know, I've gotten to know them a little bit, as much as I could, right? And so I was looking for a way that was not scrapbooking, a way to preserve those memories. There's got to be something better than a tote in my closet. And I would like to get them out and see them, touch them, feel them. Well, that sounded corny, but you know what I mean. So I have not done that yet because in my slightly OCD brain says, oh, don't practice on the good stuff. You have to practice on other stuff first, you know, because I'd mess up the good stuff, right? And by good stuff in this case, I don't mean the new stuff, because new stuff you could buy again. I'm meaning, in this case, the old letter from, you know, World War II that, you know, oh, and some of them are so cool. They've still got the sensors on them, you know, because the mail over there was censored, especially the telegraphs or whatever. Anyway, and then I've got a lot of his, you know, stuff that he just brought back, his mementos from over there, and they gave you a little pamphlet, and I actually, when I watched the Band of Brothers, I actually dug out a box, and I was able to follow along with the entire movie, just with the stuff that I had, that my dad had saved. Anyway, so despite how you feel about, you know, wars and whatnot, it happened, and these people served their country, and here we are. So, so that is what I was remembering on this day. And for this page, I'm going to remove this map and use it for something else. Let's see. I probably was, oh, I don't know, on the couch, in the pool, or in the garden, or some combination of those. So as I come across something that I did or didn't do, then I can always add it to that page right there. So even a double spread doesn't always have to be a double spread. I've learned I can allow myself permission to break my own rules, and, you know, if I don't want something over there, or if I don't have anything, or, you know, whatever the case is, there doesn't have to be anything over there. Or if I find something, you know, a picture, a random picture for that time frame of the garden. I have a bunch of pictures that I just printed out, and you know, if I need an extra space to throw a picture that was somewhere in the first week of June, it doesn't have to be exact, right? my pictures of my squash and zucchini and sunflowers, and you know, they're not going to tell anybody. No, no, no. She took this picture on the 4th, not the 6th. So, yeah, boy, I botched that lineup, but that's okay. So this was just a different way of doing the page today. Instead of, you know, using a wet, messier method of putting color on my page, I just chose to go with something a little cleaner, mainly because I wanted this map. I did this tip on this glue. Man, it gets in the nicest little tight little spots if you want stuff really stuck down. Anyway, but you do have to put the pen right back in or it does clog. Let's see, where are we at? Okay. Oh, I have tons and tons of pictures. Not for this page, but I have a variety of pictures and that I'm sorting from garden and our anniversary trip and my beautiful sunflowers. So I will be going through those. I took today, and today's been a little nuts. My father-in-law, he had to be taken to the emergency room this morning, but I think he's doing okay. I re-hurt my elbow this morning. Not doing anything fun either. So it's just been kind of a you know, piecemeal day. I am about to cook, or I have been cooking, dinner to take over there. We're gonna eat with the family again, and we are, so I know my phone's going to be ringing here any minute, because it's getting close to dinner time and people get hungry, and I have the food. So, but I wanted to just pop in, and I thought I could do that day really quick, and you know, like I said, if I come back and need to just use this as a storage space or just to glue on something, then that's fine too. Anyway, well, I will get this posted, and this one is much shorter than the last one, so maybe it will upload a lot faster and I won't have to edit it, and it will get out maybe this evening. So, oh, okay, that's what I was going to tell you. I did play around with making a messy page, and the red and the ink. I did have this red, and I almost did it, and I'm like, no, let's break out the markers this time. So I did. I sometimes I forget about my alcohol markers. So I do like to use them every once in a while. Other than, mainly what I use them for is coloring in stamps. You know, for those cards I don't make. So, anyway. Okay, well, that, I will close with that, and may or may not add some of this washi, and if not, it's okay. And I will talk to you again soon. Bye.